Okay, are you ready for chapter 5? Here we go. Bad news for Hermie. Back home, I sat down to eat a popsicle. It made me feel better. This case was getting complicated. Things were not looking great for Hermie. Plus, I couldn't stop thinking about those rabbits. Somehow eating a mouse seemed okay. But a bunny? Oh, brother. Just the thought of it made my stomach hurt. Where was Mila? She should have been here by now. But if you put a book in front of Mila, she might never look up. Suddenly, I heard a voice. Earth to Theodore, can you hear me? Mom, I cried, I am not Theodore. I'm Jigsaw Jones, and I'm working on a very important case. I see, my mom answered. Well, Mr. Jigsaw Jones, she said, how about working on that room of yours? It's a disaster. Can't, I explained. Things to do, mysteries to solve. My mom put her hands on her hips. Maybe I'm not being clear, she said. I wasn't asking, I was telling. And now I'm exclaiming, clean your room now. So, she wanted to play tough. I decided to hide out in my room for a while. Sorry, but cleaning a room was no job for the world's greatest second-grade detective. Somewhere out there, a little hamster was depending on me. A little furry guy without a friend in the world. Maybe he was lost. Maybe he was stolen. Maybe he was lunch. This was no time for putting away Legos. I pulled out my detective journal and reviewed the facts of the case. I listed all of the key words. Hermie, wingnut, mystery, missing, boa, python, world of reptiles, and Jake. I put all of the words in ABC order. It wasn't easy. Mrs. Gleason said I needed to practice my ABC order. My list looked like this. Boa, Hermie, Jake, missing, mystery, python, wingnut, world of reptiles. ABC order isn't that hard, except I sometimes get mixed up with M and N. That's because whoever made up the alphabet got it all wrong. N should come first, then M. I mean, look at it this way. If you want to build an M, you have to start with an N. Then you just draw another line. But you can't draw an M without an N already waiting there. That's why I think the alphabet is inside out. But try telling that to Mrs. Gleason. Ring! It was the doorbell. I'll get it, I yelled. I raced to the door, and it was Mila. She had 3 books in her arms, and she looked worried. Mila set the books down on our kitchen table. She wasn't humming, and that meant bad news. I've been reading about snakes, she told me, and look what I found. Mila opened the book to a picture of a snake. It had a mouse in its mouth. Correction, it had half a mouse in its mouth. The other half had already been swallowed. This snake is a rosy boa, Mila said. The same kind of snake that Jake owns. Are they poisonous? I asked. No, boas and pythons are in the constrictor family, Mila explained. She flipped through the pages of a book called Killer Snakes. Mila began reading out loud. Constrictors kill their prey by wrapping their bodies around them and squeezing. They squeeze until the victim stops breathing. Then they swallow their victims whole. Those constrictors remind me of my Aunt Harriet, I told Mila. My brother Billy calls her the anaconda. When Aunt Harriet comes to visit, she can hug the life out of you. I hugged myself and squeezed tight. Then I made all sorts of disgusting choking sounds and fell on the floor, dead. Mila didn't even seem to notice. We looked at more pictures. There was one of a snake swallowing an alligator. There was one of another picture of the same snake after it was done eating, and it looked like a hat. I took out my markers and drew a picture in my detective journal. It looked like this. Mila said, "These snakes are giant pythons. They live in jungles in Africa and Asia. Jake's snake is a lot smaller." I put my markers away. Well, maybe Jake's snake is different. Maybe it doesn't eat mice. Maybe it just eats pizza or pretzels, or maybe something like that. "Maybe," Mila said doubtfully, "but we still don't know if the snake had opportunity." "Opportunity?" I asked. "Yes, opportunity," Mila repeated. "We don't know if the snake could have gotten to Hermie's cage." I stood up. "Then we better go," I said. "Go?" she asked. "Yes," I said. "Let's visit the scene of the crime." Chapter 6, Wingnut's Room. We had to ring the bell 3 times before Mrs. O'Brien answered the door. She had the handle of a big vacuum cleaner in her hand. "Hello, Theodore." "Hello, Mila." She smiled. "Have you been ringing long?" Mrs. O'Brien wiped her forehead with the back of her hand. "This new vacuum cleaner is so loud I can't hear a thing." Wingnut appeared at the door. We followed him into his room. It was spotless. "Sorry about the room," he apologized. "My mom just bought this super powerful vacuum cleaner, and she's been cleaning for days. So I don't leave anything lying around. She might suck it right up." Yeesh. Wingnut's room gave me the creeps. It was clean, all right. Too clean. Everything was neat. Books were neatly on the shelves. Toys were neatly put away. Even the floor was neat. How can a guy live like that? It just wasn't normal. Mila walked over to the hamster cage. It was on a low shelf, about knee-high. One hamster lay curled up in the corner. "That's Sammy," Wingnut said. "He's sleeping. Hamsters mostly sleep all day. They like to run around at night." Achoo! Mila sneezed. "Bless you," I said. The cage looked like a fish tank, except it didn't have any water in it. And no fish. It had a wire roof. Mila poked at it. The roof moved a little, but not much. I doubted that a hamster could get through the hole that small. "Do you always keep the lid on?" I asked. "Yes," said Wingnut. "I'm very careful about it. One night after cleaning the cage, I forgot to put it back on, and Hermie escaped. We didn't find him for 2 whole days." Mila sneezed and sneezed and sneezed again. I got tired of saying "bless you" all the time. But like my dad says, having manners is a full-time job, even if you have to say the same thing over and over and over again. I tried to imagine what it would be like to eat a hamster. Mila and Wingnut watched as I slithered on the ground. I flicked my tongue into the air. I looked at Sammy in the cage. Yuck. I was glad that I wasn't a snake. I'd rather eat pizza. "Where's the snake?" Mila asked. She looked at me crawling on the floor. "The real one," she added. "Oh, across the hall," Wingnut answered. "In Jake's room." "Can we see it?" she asked. "Sure, I don't think Jake's home," Wingnut said. "I don't know," I said. "Teenagers don't like people in their rooms." "Aw, come on," Wingnut said. "It's no big deal." Jake had a sign on it, and it said, "The Snake Pit. Death to all who enter." Wingnut knocked, and no one answered. Wingnut slowly pushed open the door. We stepped inside. It was dark and creepy, and it smelled like snake. That's when Mila screamed. Wow, let's make some predictions. Why do you think Mila screamed? Do you think Jake was in there and hiding and just didn't answer the door? What do you think they're going to find in there? Do you think it's as neat as Wingnut's room? There's lots of predictions. We'll find out next time. See you guys.